The Ganges. Flowing down from the Himalayas, it carves its way across the Indian subcontinent, a silver ribbon glinting under the sun. This is more than a river. It is the lifeblood of a civilization, a sacred entity worshipped by millions. Its journey begins high in the Gangotri Glacier, a place of serene beauty and icy solitude. From these lofty heights, the river begins its descent, gaining momentum and volume as it is joined by tributaries. It gathers speed, a roaring torrent cascading through mountain gorges. As it reaches the plains, the Ganges slows, spreading out its waters to nourish the land. The river's banks are dotted with temples and ghats, each with its own story to tell. The Ganges Basin has been a cradle of civilization for millennia. Its fertile soil and abundant water resources attracted early settlers, giving rise to some of the world's first urban centers. Over the centuries, the banks of the Ganges witnessed the rise and fall of empires. The Mauryan Empire, under the rule of Ashoka, spread its influence across the subcontinent, leaving behind enduring symbols of its power. The Gupta Empire, known as the Golden Age of India, saw a flowering of art, literature and science, much of it centered around the Ganges. Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism, some of the world's major religions, all originated in the Gangetic plains. The river's sanctity is enshrined in Hindu scriptures, where it is revered as the goddess Ganga, a deity of immense power and purity. For Hindus, the Ganges is much more than a geographical feature. It is a sacred entity, a goddess in her own right. Ganga, as she is known, is believed to have descended from heaven to purify the earth and absolve humanity of its sins. Bathing in her waters, particularly at sacred sites like Allahabad and Varanasi, is considered a highly auspicious act, capable of washing away sins and facilitating spiritual liberation. The Ganges is central to countless Hindu rituals and ceremonies. Pilgrims from all over India, and indeed the world, flock to its banks to perform these sacred rites. From the simple act of offering prayers and floating diyas or earthen lamps on the river to elaborate ceremonies like the immersion of ashes after cremation, the Ganges forms an integral part of the Hindu faith. The river is also associated with numerous myths and legends, further enhancing its spiritual significance. This deep-rooted faith in the Ganges' purifying power has shaped the religious landscape of India for centuries, making the river a potent symbol of faith, hope and redemption. Perhaps the most spectacular manifestation of faith in the Ganges is the Kumbh Mela, the largest peaceful gathering on earth, held every 12 years at 4 rotating locations along the banks of the Ganges and its tributaries. The Kumbh Mela witnesses the convergence of millions of pilgrims seeking spiritual purification. The highlight of this massive festival is the Shahi Snan, a royal bath taken by Naga sadhus, ascetic warriors who renounce worldly possessions and dedicate their lives to spiritual pursuits. Clad in ash and with their bodies smeared with sandalwood paste, these holy men lead millions of devotees in a mass dip in the sacred waters. The air crackles with energy as chants of Har Har Gange, Hail Goddess Ganges, reverberate through the air. The sheer scale of the event, with its throngs of devotees, colorful processions and vibrant rituals, is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the central role the Ganges plays in the lives of millions. Beyond its religious significance, the Ganges is an intrinsic part of daily life for millions of Indians. For those living along its banks, the river is a lifeline, providing water for drinking, irrigation and transportation. Farmers depend on its waters to irrigate their fields, while fishermen cast their nets to earn their livelihood. The ghats, or steps leading down to the river, are a hive of activity throughout the day. Women wash clothes, children splash and play, and priests perform rituals for devotees. The ghats are also a place for socializing, where people gather to exchange news, share stories, and simply enjoy the cool breeze blowing off the river. The Ganges is also a source of inspiration for artists, poets, and musicians. From the mundane to the profound, the Ganges permeates every aspect of life for those who live along its banks. The Ganges River Basin is one of the most fertile regions on Earth. Its rich alluvial soil, deposited over centuries by the river's floods, supports a vast agricultural belt that feeds millions. Rice, wheat, sugarcane, and a variety of fruits and vegetables thrive in this fertile land, making it the breadbasket of India. The river also supports a diverse ecosystem, providing a habitat for a wide variety of flora and fauna. The Gangetic dolphin, a freshwater dolphin species found only in the Ganges and its tributaries, is a flagship species, its presence an indicator of the river's health. The Ganges also plays a vital role in transportation and commerce. Boats laden with goods ply its waters, connecting remote villages to urban centers. The river serves as a major trade route, facilitating the movement of agricultural produce, textiles, and other goods. Despite its sacred status, the Ganges today faces a grave threat: pollution. The very river that is revered as a goddess is being choked by a toxic cocktail of industrial waste, sewage, and agricultural runoff. Unchecked urbanization, industrial growth, and religious practices have all contributed to the degradation of the river's water quality. The discharge of untreated sewage from cities and towns along its banks is a major source of pollution. Industrial effluents laden with heavy metals and other toxic substances are often released directly into the river, poisoning its waters and threatening aquatic life. The use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in agriculture has also taken a toll, leading to the contamination of groundwater and surface water. The excessive use of water for irrigation has further reduced the river's flow, exacerbating the pollution problem. The once pristine waters of the Ganges are now contaminated with fecal coliform bacteria, heavy metals and other harmful substances, posing a serious threat to human health and the environment. The pollution of the Ganges has far-reaching consequences. The river's water, once considered sacred and pure, is now a breeding ground for waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery. Millions of people who depend on the river for drinking and bathing are at risk of contracting these diseases. The decline in water quality has also had a devastating impact on the river's ecosystem. Fish populations have dwindled, and the Gangetic dolphin, once a common sight, is now an endangered species. The river's once rich biodiversity is under threat, with many species facing extinction. The pollution of the Ganges is not just an environmental issue, it is a social, economic, and spiritual crisis. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the Indian government has launched several initiatives to clean up the Ganges. The Ganga Action Plan, launched in 1985, aimed to reduce pollution levels and improve the river's water quality. While the initial plan had limited success, it paved the way for more comprehensive efforts. The Namami Gange program, launched in 2014, is a more ambitious initiative that adopts a holistic approach to river conservation. It focuses on sewage treatment, industrial effluent management, riverfront development, and public awareness campaigns. Several non-governmental organizations are also actively involved in efforts to revive the Ganges. They are working with local communities to promote sustainable agricultural practices, reduce waste generation, and raise awareness about the importance of river conservation. The Ganges is more than just a river. It is a symbol of India's cultural and spiritual heritage. Its waters have nurtured civilizations, inspired faiths, and sustained millions for millennia. Today, the river faces unprecedented challenges, but the spirit of the Ganges, its ability to renew and regenerate, offers hope for the future. The task of cleaning up the Ganges is daunting but not insurmountable. It requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders, the government, industries, communities, and individuals. It requires a change in mindset, a shift from a culture of consumption to a culture of conservation. By embracing sustainable practices, supporting conservation efforts, and rediscovering our connection to this sacred river, we can ensure that the Ganges continues to flow for generations to come, a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring spirit of India.